So you decluttered. Now what? It's the age-old question. I got my bin of stuff to get rid of. What do I do with it? A lot of people struggle with the morality of it because you want it to go to the right place. But the truth is, the only right place is out of your house. A couple weeks back, I shared this photo, on a Facebook group for, I don't know, decluttering or minimal moms or something. I don't know. Some Facebook group. And I was excited because I had gotten rid of a ton of kids' play food and dishes and stuff they were so cheap and broken and just gross. And I was excited to have them out of our house. I was hoping others would share my excitement, of course. But then comments started coming in of, making sure that I don't just throw them away, making sure that they go to the right place. I had suggestions of donating to daycares, of thrift stores, of homeless shelters. And I think we tend to over-glorify donating, and I wanted to just set some things straight. I was a team leader at Goodwill for like 3.5 years, and I learned a lot about the thrifting industry in that time. I'm still a huge supporter of Goodwill. I loved my job. I love the people I work with. Just sometimes your life changes and the career path you're on changes. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of people who hit 20, 30 plus years working at Goodwill, and that is absolutely fantastic. I want to help guide you in the path of decluttering your home, because you've done the hard part. You got the stuff that you collected into a box, a bag, whatever, to get rid of. And now you're paralyzed by, what do I do with this? And it shouldn't be that way. It should be just get it out. So first things first, not everything that you're getting rid of has value past your home. That's brutally honest. The play food that I threw away was literally dollar store items that were broken and dented. It was not functional anymore. So you need to be able to distinguish, will someone actually find this valuable? And there are some cases that you can donate to a thrift store like Goodwill where it can be recycled. But other times you have to use your discretion and say, you know what, this right now just needs to go in the trash. It needs to be out of my home. It's going in the trash. So that's first thing. Is it trash? Second thing is, yes, it's very nice to be able to donate to homeless shelters. But I've also done donation drives for homeless shelters, and they can get overburdened with things that they just don't want or need. If something is, especially toys, if they're used and broken and stuff, that's not as exciting for little kids as you might think. A lot of times it's better off to donate your stuff to like Goodwill, take $10, go to Walmart or Target, buy a cute doll or set of Legos, and donate the new thing. It'll make that child in the homeless shelter feel so much better because they're receiving something new that was for them, not secondhand. Now, I'm not saying if you have stuff that's in good condition, sure, always ask beforehand though, because a lot of places get just inundated with things that they can't physically handle. So always make sure that things are in good condition. Clothes can be different, because a lot of times clothes can look in really great condition, especially for women, and it's not a big deal if it's used. But toys, it's good in theory, right? So yes, homeless shelters are potentially a thing, but also I know some are a little bit harder to donate to just because of drop-off locations and things. You have to do your research. Third is like putting it on Facebook, putting it on a Buy Nothing group out on the curb. We've gotten rid of a lot of stuff that way. It can be a hassle because we live kind of not on a main path, and so people have to go out of their way to get to our house. But we've still gotten rid of stuff that way. Donating to a thrift store, always a good option. Just do your research. If you aren't sure about the ones around you, you can ask on local Facebook groups. But I would seriously implore you to do a little bit of research before believing anything that's posted on Facebook, anything that's posted on social media. There was a post that circulated like 10, 15 years ago with saying that these CEOs and these nonprofits were making outrageous amounts of money. And it's just absolutely not true. The CEO that was listed for Goodwill is not even a person, or at least it's not even a person who's ever associated with Goodwill. Someone just made up all these facts about nonprofits to hurt these nonprofits. And it's horrible. It's just absolutely horrible and it still makes the rounds, even though this thing is, if you go on Snopes, it has been debunked. It is not true. So you can do your own research. Goodwill is a membership of regions. Each region in every state has its own makeup of CEO, president, whatever, and then it branches off. It's like around here, we have Goodwills of North Central Wisconsin. There's like, I think Southeast Wisconsin or something. If you can figure out which one is in your area, you can go online. Nonprofits are required to post their profits, their salaries for their top people in the company. You can look at all of that online and you can see that they're not making millions of dollars. It's just not true. And you can also see where the money is going for programs and services. And it is so fulfilling to be part of the programs at Goodwill, to work with people with varying abilities and seeing them smile and grow and laugh. It is, if you ever get a chance to work in that kind of a setting, I would absolutely encourage you to do it. I also did that at a hospital working with a program called Project Search. And I think that is around the nation. I'm not sure. But I know it's in more locations than just our area. Being able to mentor and help people just get social skills, that is such a huge part. I know there's a lot about Goodwill and paying by piece count. And yes, places do that. But I know a lot of them, as of recently, have been going to an hourly minimum wage pay and even above that. So I know the one in our region was not doing the piece count pay anymore. But a lot of it is just the social aspect, getting out of the house, being able to interact with others, gain training, gain skills. It is huge. So I would very much implore you to go. Don't just look at whatever post popped up on Facebook and go, oh gosh, that's horrible. Because anybody can type anything and put it out there. But if you go, like I said, nonprofits have to post their earnings and where the money is going. So it's all out there for you to look at. Places like Savers and Value Village are for profit. They have lawsuits against them. You can go look this up right now. There's recent ones out of Washington, I believe, that because they're being deceptive about working with nonprofits. So, and you might have, some other ones. There's a St. Vincent something. I don't know. We don't have one here. It's a common one. Or other just local pop-up thrift stores that support missions in your area. We have some a thrift store here in our town that supports the homeless shelter. So by donating there and shopping there, you're also supporting programs there to help men and women get back on their feet, or job training, all of that sort of stuff. It's all a huge, huge plus in your community to donate to places like that. I will get off my high horse, step off my podium now for talking about that. I'm still very passionate, even though it's been when did I leave? It's been like 8 years since I left Goodwill, but I still absolutely am very passionate about working there. Overall, as a company, I really believe in the company. If you still feel strongly about it, find somewhere in your area that you can believe in and can feel good about donating to. People have mentioned donating to daycares, toys, things like that. And I've done that too. My best friend works at a daycare, and I've been like, hey, you want these books or toys or whatever? And she's like, yeah, we'll take them. That's cool too. But again, going back to that play food, it was not something that I would want little babies or toddlers chewing on, putting in their mouths, because it wasn't good quality. It was old, dirty. I threw it away. If you have things that, especially if your kids go to daycare or grandkids, whatever, yeah, ask your daycare teachers if it's something that they would want. Sometimes, they have a lot too and don't necessarily need it anymore. And that's okay too. let's see, if you want to go the route of making a little bit of money back, we love to have our thrift sale in the spring, and it's a neighborhood-wide thrift sale, so a lot of traffic. I mostly stick with clothing at thrift sales just because I put everything up for $1 and call it good. I did that this past year, and it was amazing, saving all the time of marking everything. But of course, if you do a combined thrift sale, it gets a little bit harder because then you have to have, whose item is that? And yeah. But with me and my mom, we know whose stuff is whose, and it doesn't really matter in the long run. You can do, selling things on Facebook Marketplace. Some people still use Craigslist, or there's other apps, ThreadUp for clothing. I've never tried selling stuff. Mercari is another one that I've bought stuff from. I haven't sold on there. Poshmark. I know some people have good success. It just depends on what you have for clothing. But if you have big stuff, I always turn to Facebook first because people like to just snatch it up. I'm hoping this gave you a little bit of an idea of what to do. You don't have to be stuck on making sure you donate it to the best place or the right place, because there is no right place. Anywhere that you can take your things to get them out of your house is the right place for you. And that's the honest truth. So, and make it easier on yourself. Set it out on your front porch or the curb and say, hey, come get it. Then you don't have to do any of the work, right? And then whatever happens from there happens. If you have any other ideas of things, maybe I missed something, drop them in the comments below so I can look at those too for options. That if you have things places you like to donate to or sell at, maybe some new sites that, or eBay, I guess I didn't mention, but yeah, I'd love to hear them, and I will hopefully catch you next time.